Ladies, gentlemen, genders in between genders undecided. How are we all doing tonight?
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
to Super Gamer Bros Live EXEBDLSCM Game
You
of the
know,
Year Golden Edition.
you know what it is. It's super long. This is Sinnick. Hello, hello. Welcome, Pocky and Courtney.
Greetings.
Hello.
Yeah,
So
don't let me
what's
confuse anybody. Pocky's running this thing.
Yeah. So what we have tonight is we have Gavin unfortunately had a bit of a emergency to deal with, so at the last minute it was decided I should, for some reason, be in charge. That was the decisions that were made. We will see later how they turned out.
Terrible
It is what it
decision,
is, Gavin. Exactly. Gavin, we love you. Phil, we love you. You know.
So, but this week
yes.
This week we're still in the middle of basically Game News Central, where instead of E3 we have now 2 months of Blitz news. But before we get into that, we should talk about some other stuff like such as.
That's right.
I agree with her. It is a lot of noise.
It's EA, and as you could clearly hear, EA had some big announcements. So we're definitely going to have to talk about that.
But first, before we do all that, we should be talking about, of course, is what we've been playing this week. Sinnick, what have you been playing?
Oh, well, I've been having my Yakuza 0 adventures. I was one mission away from finishing the game, and I decided, you know what, let me finish this real estate thing, and it extended the game another week. I finally, I kid you not, I finished it maybe 5 minutes before you walked in here. So there you go. She was excited. I was excited.
Mom was excited.
Yeah, everyone was very excited. So that's what I have been doing. And I also purchased Overwatch for the Switch. I have a friend, a family member that love dearly, and she's been saying, "Hey, play Overwatch with me on the Switch." So it's $20 on the Switch. I don't know if it still is, but I said, why not? So I just went ahead and bought it on the Switch so I could jump online, and so you'll have more stories of Overwatch coming soon. So there was mostly that. I've been, it's mostly Yakuza 0 and Overwatch for now, which has been fun to learn. I didn't realize when I opened this game up and the character selection screen extended across the screen, and I went, this first-person shooter, I have to learn all this?
Nope, you don't have to learn it. Basically, the wonderful thing about Overwatch is, unlike Team Fortress 2, in my opinion, is you find about 3 guys you like, and then that's all you do. You just you need to be the DPS, you need to be the support, or you need to be the tank.
Yeah, I have started to notice that pretty quickly, and so far I can't remember. Is it Phazon? I can't remember her name. She turns invisible, teleports herself out of trouble real fast.
Phazon. Or,
yes.
She turns invisible.
Just
teleports around, and
Yeah, I'm probably butchering the name. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. Yeah. So sorry for any fans of this person. But she's an awesome character, and I love being sneaky. I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more and having a little more fun with that. Dragon Ball Legends, actually, I don't think I've ever mentioned it on this show, but I don't know why, because I play Dragon Ball Legends every day on my phone. They have done a massive release for their 2-year anniversary, and it's slot-based, percentage-based. You might get characters that you like. You earn, crystals over time to summon them, things like that. You may get characters that you like, and man, I got just about every character that I possibly could out of this one, plus the most overpowered one. So now when I go to PvP, I'm just smashing through people. So it's not even fair. I'll just say Super Vegito Blue for anybody who plays Dragon Ball Legends. Yeah, go ahead and hate me. It's fine. I totally get it.
Nice. And that's not including that. Was it Dragon Ball Z Fighters? One by Arc System Works is sold over 5 million copies around the world.
Oh yeah, that game's fantastic. I would talk about it more, but I last weekend after the show, I actually spent a lot of that weekend playing Dragon Ball Fighters. So I forgot about that. I will say that. Yeah, Ultra Instinct Goku is a god in that game, and you kind of, if you play it right now, you just kind of have to fight through the Ultra Instinct army because that is an amazing character.
And Brody, apparently.
Both versions of Broly, specifically. Yes, she's doing her Dragon Ball impression right now.
Yeah, you said Dragon Ball, so she's like, "Oh, you want?"
Oh, yep, there she goes. So anyway, yeah, Broly is a fantastic character, and I could go more in depth. I could talk forever about that game. So yeah, unless you want to get me started, you better tell me right now what you've been playing, Pocky.
So I'll go last. Courtney, you're next.
So, of course, I've been playing WoW. I mean, I've been getting that ready to go.
Sure.
But I've also picked back up, starting from the very, very beginning, Dragon Age. And that's going to be fun. Mainly because I watched a lot of playthrough when Pocky was playing Inquisition, and I fell in love with Dragon Age Inquisition. I've got a few fair hours into it on the PS4 myself. But I haven't played on the PS4 in a while because it's my own fault. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Pinterest started just showing me random GIFs and images of Cullen from Inquisition, who is an absolute adorable heartthrob for me, and then a lot of the Dragon Age Origins stuff. So thanks to Pinterest, I am getting back into the game from the very, very beginning, because I also reminded myself that every time I've sat down to start playing Origins specifically, something happens. And hopefully this time I've got a solid, stable computer with a good warranty on it. And I seem to be over everything that was the chaos for the last 3 months going on. So hopefully I'll actually be able to play through farther than just getting to the first station with the Grey Wardens. So that's how far I've usually gotten in Origin.
Well, you and I will have to have some Dragon Age conversations down the line, because that is definitely one of my favorite series of all time. I'm glad you're playing it. Oh, that's so fun. It's such a fun series.
So fun. That, and the other reason why I'm playing it, and this is going back to Pride Month, I know Inquisition does an absolutely phenomenal job with the gender expression and sexual identity representation, just across the board. And I kind of want to go through and explore, is that something that they just kind of improved upon for Inquisition, or did it start in Origins and go from there?
It started with Origins and then kind of went from there. There is a couple of characters, one in particular, there's a couple of female characters who are at least bisexual, and then there is there's one, I can't remember if he is I can't remember which direction he falls under, whether he's bisexual or just he's I'm trying to remember, but I also don't want to spoil it for you.
I've already run into all the spoilers that I possibly can. So
okay.
It's also, for Origins, it's also long enough past that spoiler window, so don't really worry about it for my sake.
True, but it's all about the experience. You never know. I know one of the characters was the assassin character. Then from the Antivan Crows, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was I loved him, and you're gonna have to. I'll just say this. Just please make sure you do everybody's special side mission quests. Because if you don't, you end up losing them forever. And he's such a great character. So yeah, you don't want him. You don't want to lose him. He's great.
Yeah, definitely going to be doing the side missions. I am starting, just because this is who I typically start with. I am starting with the Koosland route, just because that seems pretty interesting, starting her on a warrior. So, but I will eventually play through the Elven and Dwarven storylines at some point too. But I'm starting with Koosland because for whatever reason, I naturally start with her, to begin with. I always play female Kusland.
Yeah.
So
I started with a male. I think I started with the rogue first, and so it was a male rogue, and I switched to. I played it again with a male elf mage, and that was a great story to go through. He and Morgan, of course, they end up shack. In my story anyway, they end up shacking up by the end. And in Inquisition, that kid shows up and is hanging out, and I'm like, that's just so cool.
Nice.
That all came full circle. And that in Inquisition, I played a female elf, and for whatever reason, it just fit. I actually ended up playing mages in all the Dragon Age 2 as well. You might find. Yeah, you might find some issues here and there with 2, but I'd say it's still good to go through. You just probably won't have as much fun as 1 and 3.
Actually, I started Dragon, like the entire thing. My very first Dragon Age game was Dragon Age 2. So.
Was 2. Well, I mean, it's a great game. So once you finish that, and you're like, hey, that was fun. I wonder what 1's like. And you're like, oh, 1, God Almighty. Like,
and then they announced Inquisition, and Inquisition came out, and I'm just like, I found my game. Give it to me.
Yeah, I didn't realize, because when you press this, for anybody who plays Dragon Age, if you press the start button, and the very middle, the world map is there, and then you have all your other options circling around it, as she is also explaining to you. What she's trying to do is say, Daddy, don't tell these people how stupid you are, because I didn't realize that the map was in the middle and I could fast travel that way. So I spent a great deal of Dragon Age Inquisition walking everywhere. so yeah. Yeah, just make sure fast travel. It makes things a lot easier.
Fun. Unless you're looking out for the sightseeing, because to be fair, that part of a lot of the environments in Dragon Age Inquisition were beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they were very pretty, but if you did missions around Mount Rushmore, and by the 10th time you pass it, you're like, oh, there's Mount Rushmore. Hey, isn't that cool? Hey, there's the Grand Canyon, folks. All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I get that one. So, what has Pocky been playing? Don't forget to unmute your mic.
Sorry, I'm trying to set up 9 things.
You're still muted, honey. Okay, there we go.
So yeah, I have been playing a lot. So this week is a lot of things. As Sinnick attested to, there was some news stuff that broke out, and we had a lot of fun with it. But this week, let's see, I've been playing more PSO2 because PSO2 had to happen. And oh, hello, babies. She's like, oh, thank God you finally got my toy.
I've got several over here. She just has no interest in them. She's getting bored. Daddy's boring her and taking away all her wires. I'm sorry.
So Saturday, the PC gaming show happened, and 2 minutes before it went live, the chat for that thing went insane. And I was looking at the chat. I was watching this a little bit while I was lunch, but it started going nuts. And it kept saying one sentence over and over again, but it was different people saying it. And it was, Persona 4 had entered the PC on Steam. Right then and there. And they, of course, later, 2.5 hours later, announced it was there, but too late. About half the population had already bought it. So yes, Persona 4 ended up on Steam.
Cool. Do you already have it?
Yes. I told my wife, literally messaged her, buy this game for me. Her statement was, which one do you want me to do? Buy the game or watch the 3-hour video? And I was like, yes. So I could literally spend as much time as talking about this as you could about Dragon Ball Fighter.
Yep.
But I'll put it this way. This was an in-house thing. Atlas Japan did this. This is their thing. Normally, those who don't know, most times when a remake or a remaster or a mastering of a game comes out, generally it goes to a third party, and you hope to God that third party is as good as the Shadow of the Colossus people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not. Look at the Mafia games. In this case, no, it was all in-house, and oh my god, does it show. It's beautiful. It's not upscaled. They smoothed everything out. They defined graphics. It's not just like, hey, we blew it up to 1080p and didn't fix any of the artifacting. No, it's fixed.
That's cool.
There's a problem with that statement, though.
This
was a PS2 game. And it was actually kind of good graphics at its time, which is not good graphics now. They cheated to get those graphics to look as good as they could on a PS2. You know, like in Silent Hill, they put the fog in so the computer wouldn't have to render as much.
Yeah.
Well, as an example, so how they did it was they invented layer, like on the trees, they made layers, like little flat images on the tree, and they bent it back and forth so it would look like the tree was one solid mass and moving correctly.
Okay.
So a PS2 and a Vita, that's fine. When I'm talking about a 27-inch monitor and this thing is 1080p and moving at 130 frames a second, all of a sudden those lines become really painfully visible.
All of a sudden you can see it bending and warping.
Yeah, and you can see the individual, like how, you know, how like when like Tomb Raider, all the bushes were shaped like a crosshair, so wherever you went, it looked like this.
Yeah, that was kind of par for the course for PS1 back in the day, wasn't it?
PS1, PS2, but the thing is, they use like 8 on this tree, so they're like, it's not as jagging, and they were bending them to sway them a little bit, so you wouldn't really notice. But unfortunately, like I said, at 120,
hard not to notice.
It's really hard to notice. The other problem is, gee, I'm so happy to be here. And like no one's lips are moving, and they look like all they're wearing porcelain masks all of a sudden.
Well, it's like you said, remaster, not remake, right? So
yeah, it is totally worth it. By the way, $25 for the deluxe edition, $20 for the regular. Deluxe comes with an art book and soundtrack. So I would recommend getting it just because it's going to suck about 130 hours of your life. Warning, it's super on rails though. You are on rails for a good 4 hours of that game.
Well, that's, I mean, when you can percentage-wise, when you compare it to the 148 hours that you're going to be on it, not too bad.
Yeah, you can speed that up though if you want to go faster, but it's just you skipping a lot of side options. So, but yeah, no, I've been playing that. I've been streaming it live. I don't play it without the stream, so. But that game was kind of important to me also because that's the game I played while in the hospital with Courtney. So.
Yeah.
Because it was on the Vita, so I beat it.
Well, very, very cool. So we'll definitely find you on Twitch playing Persona 4 then.
Twitch and Mixer, yep.
And you'll just be starting it, so
I'm already on my first midterm test.
Which, for context,
so there are 4 tests, once per season. And it's like basically. So sporadically, they'll give you random tests throughout you'll get like, so Mr. Insert character's name here. Who do you think of this? Now the thing is, in Japan, these are questions that are asked of students naturally, like who was the president of America? Who was the president of the United States during like the Civil War? What area got bombed during World War II in the United States? Things that we naturally know.
Yeah.
The problem is the questions are Japanese.
Okay.
So they're not really. Some of them are really like how many books are in this one series of books? But they're kind of like that book series is like the Huck Finn of Japan. Like, it's like if you're a certain age, you have to read these series of books. There's 4 of them in the series. You have to read them. Kind of important. So
it's just required reading in Japan. I got you.
Yeah, and so because of that, there is no shame in looking up the answer to those questions. You kind of need to get them right.
Yeah.
Because they increase one of your stats.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. You need your knowledge stat to go up. So yes. But with that, that's literally all else. And I beat Super Metroid.
Really?
Yes. Again.
That's an awesome feat. I don't know if I told you the Super Metroid story that I had on the Switch, that I had gotten very, very far. I had my grappling gun. I was basically closing towards the end, and I accidentally deleted my save state. I had about 4 going, and man, that last one was just lasting a long time. So I kind of rage quit the game.
I kind of want to learn how to speedrun that game, but I've also seen some of the speedrunners, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I tried
to get speedrunning, but I don't think Super Metroid would be it. Because one of the things you have to master is the wall jump, and I am just not good at that.
Oh, dude, I can definitely give you some pointers for wall jumping later for sure.
Yeah, that's how it's different things.
Yeah, you just gotta tap. It's like you tap the opposite direction, and you tap this button. So bip, 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 bip. It's like that. So it's an interesting rhythm that you have to have when wall jumping. I tried to do it without going through a walkthrough or anything because I never beat it as a kid. And that hurts. So I never did beat it as a kid. Went through it without any just no strategies or walkthroughs or anything like that. And man, I was getting stuck real bad. And I was going, you know what? No wonder I never beat it as a kid. Like I can't beat it on my own now. And I had to look up wall jumping and things like that because it's just for anybody who hasn't played it. There are certain things in there that are essential that the game doesn't tell you how to do. So
wall jump you really don't need to learn how to do because eventually you get the screw attack and the space jump. But no, the one you have to really learn, in my opinion, is the rocket jump. The one that
yes,
you have to zoom. Run, like half the 3 items in the game need that.
Yeah, you run once you get the running the running power up, which makes you glow and you can smash through stuff. If you duck, you'll save the charge, and when you jump, you'll shoot up like a rocket. The game doesn't tell you how to do that, and that's a lot. And
actually, it does. You just have to go into the room for the creature to show you how to do it.
Oh, you're right. You actually it shows you, but without any dialogue. It just kind of does it in front of you, and you have to go. What's this thing that I can't shoot in here that's doing in front of me? And you just kind of have to mimic it. You're right. I forgot about that thing.
Yeah.
It's the same with wall jumping. You see a creature do it in front of you, and you kind of have to. I actually
trying to tell you.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I actually went online. I was like, "How do I wall jump?" It's not like Mario. Yeah, I know. It's not like Mario, is it? You dropped your panda. That's it. Panda's done. There's your star. There you go.
There you go. So with that, the question of the week is real fast. So we spent a little too long on our games, but the question of the week is, since we are talking about press conferences and whatnot, what items so far in the press conferences, all the press conferences we witnessed so far, there's a couple more coming up. What item, what thing in what press conference release have you got you hyped? Kind of reminds me of the industry.
Oh, okay.
Your go, Courtney.
Well, I kind of wanted Sinnick for this one.
But it's fine. He's got to go take care of babies.
Okay, because I want your impressions of this one. It's called Inkulinati. INKULINATY. It's on Kickstarter from Yaza Games. And I have the trailer pulled up. If
we cannot show trailers.
Cannot show trailers? Okay, well
we get
Hey Pocky, while you get that trailer up, this one's melting down, so I'm gonna take care of it if you want to load that trailer up.
Okay, we can't show. Oh. We can't show a trailer right now, but yeah, we'll keep talking about some other things.
How come we can't show trailers anymore?
Reasons that will be explained afterwards.
Okay.
I was given a very nice lecture about it.
Okay.
Gavin wasn't mean for anyone who doesn't want to defend me.
Well, I wanted to show y'all because this is one of those games that's just like
pull up an image of it? I can show it.
I could probably pull up an image.
But I cannot show. Yeah, so we can't show trailers because
this is working for now. By the way, just for a little bit.
Oh.
Probably not.
So let me pull up an image.
So, so for me, while Courtney's doing that, for me the big thing has been is surprisingly large amount of new titles, like particularly for the PS5, like them actually showing off titles, EA showing off some titles, like a lot of not sequels or at least new takes on games, like the Miles Morales thing going on, which may or may not be a sequel or whatever.
It's definitely a sequel, and I agree with you. New IPs are great. Like people complain that it's sequel, remake-a-thon, and new IPs are great. Like there are a lot of them.
Yeah, there goes the wire. So I did pull up Yaza Games.
So here it is. This is it right here. Oh, yes. This is the medieval one. Okay.
Yes, this is Inclinati. And the trailer for this, I'm sad I can't show it because the trailer starts off really nice and kind of, you don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, this illuminated bull spews what bulls are known for. Words I cannot use. But it's just a really beautiful kind of... I don't know how to describe this, but this seems like just like it was a game made for me and my sense of humor and all of the things that I love combined into one in just a very like sort of casual game. Like just that beautiful illustrations and things like that. Yeah, just I cannot wait for this game just to see how insane it actually gets. It looks like it's going to be fun, and I wish y'all could have seen that trailer because I wanted to see y'all's faces so bad for that.
I've actually seen that trailer, but yeah, no, it looks really good. I would, like I said, it's been nice to actually see original titles or at least maybe sequels to titles that are like, oh yeah, that was the game. Damn, you guys went down a vault.
Yeah.
So, Sinnick, what do you got other than baby?
I'd say at least with the big EA announcements and things, I think Star Wars Squadrons was something that I saw that and that was what released. Was that today that it was released?
Yeah, no, 3 days ago.
Or was it okay? Yeah, it was a few days ago. So yeah, I just today got my eyes on it. And man, does it look cool! It reminds me of like the old school Rogue Squadrons. It looks more space based. I remember at least the first Squadron that I had was more kind of terrestrial based. But man, this just looks so cool. I really hope that EA doesn't stick their nose in there too much as far as loot boxes and things like that. I mean, it just tanked the sales for Battlefront 2, and I'm really hoping that they just let the developers do their thing because it looks like they've done a beautiful job. It's got a full blown story mode, battle mode, 5-on-5, stuff like that. There's actually a few different modes. If you watch the trailer for it, they do a really good breakdown of all the stuff they've got in the game. So yeah,
it's actually in the game.
Yeah, and you can of course play as both Rebels and Imperials. The story will switch to both as well. I actually missed out on the Rogue Squadron 2 just because I never had a GameCube, and it was one of the reasons I kind of regret not getting a GameCube. So I thought, hey, I missed the Star Wars boat after Rogue Squadron. So the fact that they're making another space-based shooter, or at least vehicle-based shooter for Star Wars, I'm really excited for it. So that's the big one for me.
Yeah, I saw that they did do a press conference which they said that they were not going to be introducing microtransactions and whatnot, but as everyone said, that's that could be a dirty lie, and EA is not known for being fully truthful. They could say like, well, we said we were going to introduce loot boxes, we just didn't. We were meaning like on day one.
Yeah,
we waited 3 weeks.
Yeah, they did that for Battlefront 2, and it just, man, did not go over well. Check out the sales for Battlefront 2 if you want to know exactly how well it did not go over.
It went well over enough. the microtransaction loot boxes went over so well. Members of Parliament and the U.S. Senate had to get involved. Yes, Gavin, they totally need those things. Desperately need them. They legalized gambling to children.
Yeah.
At least pachinkos are at least honest about what they're doing.
Yeah. Didn't go over too well.
Nope, and its sales showed.
Yeah.
We had to retool everything in your game because I'm trying to think. There's like another game where they said they couldn't remove the microtransactions because they were too quintessential, and then like a week later they removed the microtransactions because the game was tanking.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're lying. We know you're
apparently
lying.
The beta for.
Go ahead.
Yeah, apparently the beta for Battlefront 2 went really well, and people were excited about it. And wasn't Battlefront 2 the one they patched microtransactions into? Or I think they were there, and then they took them out, and then they put them in again, or something like that. They did something weird.
In there were points you could use to unlock heroes, but they didn't say how much the beta like had it all thing. And then all of a sudden, the storefront showed up, and then all of a sudden, things got locked away. Points started being really reduced.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch. That mess was, like I said, it was bad enough for members of Parliament in the UK and members of the Senate had to go, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Surprise mechanics is where that phrase came from. Head of PR legal team of EA was at the Parliament, and we don't call them loot boxes. We call them surprise mechanics. And that sounds like a guy who randomly shows up at your house and starts fixing your car.
Yeah. Okay. But not nearly as helpful. Again, look at those numbers, because wasn't it like a week or two after that game went on sale, they literally had to cut the price in half to get people to buy it?
By 1/3. No, 25%. I think it was 24% off sale. And the problem was everyone who bought that game like day one, because they were really hyped about it, were pissed.
Yeah.
Because if you would have waited 1 week, you'd have gotten it for 25% off.
Yeah. But I mean, how pissed could you be? It's not like you could play with that many people. I mean, it's kind of hard to find people to play with.
Its numbers spiked. The problem was again, you'd have to put the premium. Like, you want Darth Vader? Come on.
Yeah,
but
you gotta play 200 hours and you'll get Darth Vader for free. Go on.
Yes.
Go on and play.
It has to be part of the lore. Remember, that was also part of their defense, was part of the lore. So, but yeah, no, that's going to be kind of interesting to see. So, with that, we'll go on to some news real fast, because don't want the kiddo to get too upset with us talking about Star Wars. So I'm going to start with some really cool news, and we're going to work our way through. I don't want to talk about something negative and then start back on negative. How about we go to positive, shall we?
Please. Positive is good. Positive. We love gaming. Let's continue to love it. Positivity.
So you said you bought Overwatch, but were you ready for Apex Legends?
I have downloaded Apex on my Xbox and my PS4 to play with people who have asked me to play. I haven't played it once, so I will probably do the same thing on the Switch, but I'll actually play with folks this time around.
So yes, apparently Apex Legends has been announced for the Switch.
I'm excited. Full cross-compatibility, mind you. That's the exciting part.
Yep, and here it is, coming this fall. So they don't have a straight up release date, but they do have a date of fall. So it will be interesting to see. If it's got full system crossover capability, we will all love this, and we'll play the hell out of it. So yes, I'm super excited about that. Apex Legends. Unfortunately, Apex Legends means we will never have another Titanfall game. Although it is the same universe.
I love Titanfall. So I've honestly, though I haven't played it, I've been looking forward to it. I just haven't found the time to play with all the people who want to. Because I love Titanfall 1 and 2. Played the hell out of both of those games. So Titanfall without the mechs doesn't sound quite as fun, but still fun.
Yeah.
So I might actually have to look into it because it might be entertaining for like 20 minutes for me.
Well, yeah, it's a fun game. It's going to be good. So
yeah, the shooting mechanics are look there. Now this is going by what Titanfall is, of course. Shooting mechanics are solid. Mobility mechanics are solid. You know, it's a crazy fun game.
So, well, it's a hero shooter. There it goes. Sorry, I dropped something. Hero shooter, much like Overwatch and a couple of games like that. So, if those are your things, and Apex Legends has been really popular up and thing. So, I think this will definitely get a renewal. Apex Legends on the Switch. I mean, get a LAN party. You get 4 people together. You just all have your Switches doing some fun. It will be really, really cool. So I don't have an image of this pulled up, but I do kind of want to go into it. Naughty Dog has somehow done right. I could, like I said, this one was kind of hard for me to find. This is real, but Naughty Dog has released a list of accessibility options for the new Last of Us. So Last of Us 2 is going to have a thing for people, basically gamers who have a physical or other non-physical mental challenges playing video games. If Courtney's looking that up, that's great.
Yes.
But basically, they've introduced a giant list, including things for people who are colorblind. There's going to be an option where like bad guys are going to be red, good guys are going to be blue, and objects must be interacted with is green. So we'll kind of give players who have a hard time with vision up to almost true blindness. It's going to have speak to text on dialogue in the box. You can turn off water hazard. So if your muscles aren't that good and you're trying to move, you can not have to worry about water drowning. You can also, it's also going to include removal of quick times for people who cannot do repetitive motions or muscle reasons. So this has actually been a huge deal because, helping gamers with disability enjoy this is it. The list is extensive. I can't go through it because it's like
60
items.
60 items.
60 items.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, I mean, there are scrolling further down the page. This is just an example of they've kind of broken them down into broad categories like vision accessibility, hearing accessibility, motor accessibility, which is actually pretty freaking cool. And then alternate controls, things like that. But pretty much it allows for a lot of people to actually play the game, including just like people who are hearing impaired, people like me who sometimes I have a hard time processing audio information if there's a whole lot of other noise going around. I do like subtitles simply because that way my brain can actually absorb that information that I'm trying to absorb without it just becoming part of the background noise that I'm trying to ignore. So I'm actually excited for that one.
Yeah, good on Naughty Dog. I hope that kind of practice can carry over.
I hope so too.
Yeah, sure. While you're bringing that up, by the way, I'm gonna go try to give this one to Mama. I'll be right back.
All right, we'll talk for a little bit. But no, I'm looking forward to it, especially considering Last of Us Part 2 looks like it's going to be insane, especially from Ellie's point of view. So, like, I don't know. I'm really excited for it, and those accessibility options might actually just get me to play The Last of Us Part 2 and ignore the fact that it uses one of the things that actually terrify me most in terms of storytelling. It's a good thing. It's just one of my personal nightmares come to life.
Evil mushroom people.
Yeah, no. The Coreopsis, is that how it's pronounced?
I think so. The actual fungus exists, but it only attacks ants.
Yeah. Or spiders.
So yeah. So while Sinnick is gone, we'll do a news story that Sinnick may not totally be down for reasons. I mean, it's not that he doesn't like it. It's just it may not be totally his thing.
Oh, cordyceps. Not cordyopsis.
Yes.
Ophiocordyceps.
Yep, that's fine.
All right. Hello again, folks.
Welcome back.
We're just talking about cortisones.
We were talking about Ophiocordyceps, the actual mushroom that inspired the breakout in The Last of Us, and how that is actually one of my nightmares come to life.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually. When I saw The Last of Us and saw the creatures and everything, I went, that's an awful lot like the cordyceps mushroom. And so when I actually finally played The Last of Us, I'm going through it, and they actually mentioned, oh yeah, this is the cordyceps fungus, but it's evolved to affect people and not just ants and small insects. And I was like, whoa, like that's a concept.
So I was going to, never mind, that's going to happen. But so next up on the docket, and that was, so that's going to be interesting. Next up for us is going to be, and I don't have an image of this one because mostly all the images attached to it are videos, and I don't want to show the videos. And that is, there's a new Kingdom Hearts game.
What?
Yep.
This one, you'll love this, Sinnick. It's not an RPG. It's a rhythm game where you tap the buttons to have people on a trail hit the monsters.
Okay.
Story. Oh, there's also going to be a mobile game.
I hated on the card-based one, but I mean, it ended up being pretty cool. So I'm not gonna, go off on this one.
It's also going to be a sequel to 3, by the way, if not a side story to 3.
Okay.
So yeah, they've already showed off some information where it's like, hey, this, and I'm like, okay, so it's a sequel, or it's a side story, or it's, I don't know, because that's my biggest complaint. I've described Kingdom Hearts, in my opinion, as mainstream pretentiousness.
I mean, you can, it can be, but it's still fun. It's
fun. It's not. That's why I call it mainstream pretentiousness. But it also demands a lot from its fans to get its lore. And I know it's like I've played Dark Souls and I've played Persona, where you need to play kind of certain games and multiple things to do that. And in Dark Souls' case, read every data entry to every item ever.
Yeah.
I have none of those games so far I've played have ever asked me to download a Japanese-only mobile game so I could get the information about a character who's going to be important in a later game date that we don't know whenever that game is coming out.
Or have some of the main characters be PS Vita games whose game was exclusive to the Vita, and so I definitely. I hear what you're saying, because they did incorporate the mobile game in there. They incorporated Dream Drop Distance. What was it? Chains of, I can't remember that.
365 plus 2.
2 days.
350, yeah, I actually played that on the DS, and that was a fantastic game.
Chain of Memories was also fun.
Chain of Memories. That's the one I was trying to think of. Thank you, Courtney.
A lot of them are actually on the 1 and 2 disc, the combined disc. So I have that somewhere. I can't remember the specific ones.
Actually, I saw it on Games Pass. I downloaded 3, but I haven't actually gone in to download it. But I think the remix or the package or whatever it is on Games Pass right now.
Yeah.
So
remix.
Folks,
was pretty fun.
Yeah. So for folks who are Kingdom Hearts fans, like the remix is on Games Pass. There's it's nice that they package them all together for you, but
with the exception of the exclusives that they can't package.
Well, wasn't there a package that they did, I think, on like PS4 a little while back, where they did include the DS one and the Chain of Memory and all that. They threw all that together.
6 games in the remix, 1 and 2, in their final remix forms. Chain of Memories and the other one that came between 1 and 2, and then the other 2 that kind of became between 2 and 3. But there are some titles that were exclusive to like the mobile scene in Japan that didn't make it over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like there are total currently, including 3, there are like 9 or 10 Kingdom Hearts games, but Remix only includes the core 6 for 1 and 2, and then 3 itself is just by itself at the moment because it's still pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
So everything else is kind of either after those core 6 or was like the mobile game exclusive to Japan.
Yeah.
Like that one particular mobile game. There was a mobile game that made it here to the United States, but that was the kind of quote unquote MMO sort of thing.
Huh. Yeah.
So, all right. So real fast, we've got 3 last news stories we need to rush through real fast. We've got about 10 minutes left, so we're going to bust through these because at least one of them I know Sinnick's going to have some definite hoo-ha about.
But you think you'll send me into an angry frenzy here?
No, hoo-ha, as in yes.
Happy frenzy.
Happy frenzy time. That's this.
Yes, yes.
So if you have a copy of Witcher, The Wild Hunt on any game on your gaming platforms, connect to Good Old Games 2.0 and you can claim a free version of that game. Good until June 23rd of this year at 11 a.m. Some United UTC, I don't know what that stands for.
Universal Time.
Universal. So yeah, sorry. But yeah. So basically, Good Old Games is like, hey, do you have this on the? Do you have this in anything other than the PC, and even maybe on the PC? How about getting it for free?
Yeah.
Why should you pay for something twice?
That looks like it's promoting the Good Old Games
2.0 edition
desktop app. Though.
Yes, it is.
They're dedicated to their desktop app.
Yeah, so it is promoting their desktop app, but still, this is awesome.
That's very cool.
It's very, like, example, I own at least 3 copies now of Stardew Valley. So, like, the fact that it's on Switch now and it's going to include the multiplayer on the Switch is going to be interesting. But yeah,
we don't own it on the Switch yet.
No, we don't.
We have it on PC.
We have it on PC, PS4, and the cell phone. Yes.
So, the nice thing is I can't remember how many. It was a week or 2 ago where we were all talking about the different types of platforms and the ease of gaming and, purchasing of games and talking about, and I mentioned, well, there should be a program where if you buy a game from, this developer, you'll get it for all the systems and stuff like that. And I know you have contracts and licenses that just don't allow for that kind of thing to happen. But for a company to go out on its own and kind of do something, even if it's just a promotional thing, it's still pretty cool. It's a vision of what could be, Yeah,
and it's also a case of this may get you involved with Good Old Games. Good Old Games has a lot of really good, old PC games and even not old PC games that are just generally. If you want to talk about a rival, what should be the rival to Steam, at least for indies and older games, should be Good Old Games. Good Old Games is just awesome. Their mentality was, let's get old PC games and let people enjoy them again.
That's very cool.
So
support that for sure.
I'm going to share our bad news story of the night. Because like I said, I was trying to kind of keep this positive, and unfortunately, our bad news story of the night is this. Cyberpunk 2077, if you are seeing the blinding yellow on the black text, CD Projekt Red has officially announced that it will be delayed until November 19th from its new multiple delay date of September 17th to now November 19th.
Well, I trust you, CD Projekt Red. I trust that you're doing all the. I mean, we were just talking about The Witcher 3, which was one of my favorite games ever. You've only improved on all the games you've put out between Witcher, Witcher 2, Witcher 3. I trust you. So I hope you're not building a new game from the ground up right now. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
No, they're giving that it's quality control and everything. Maybe they're not working their people to death like they're kind of famous for doing. Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, probably not. But yeah, so it's going to be kind of interesting. We're hope to see. So our last news story of the night is the big one, and that if I don't talk about this game, somewhere out there, someone will be very, very upset with me. So tonight, we're going to share the last news story, and that got announced earlier this week in the middle of all of this. But that is Pokemon Snap.
Yes.
Nintendo is releasing Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo Switch. Release date is yet to be announced, but hey, it's going to happen.
I'm so excited. This was one of my favorite games on the N64. I still have it for my N64. What an awesome game this was.
So Gavin's thing is we don't have a Blockbusters anymore to go print out the stickers. My statement was that's because we all 3D printers, sir.
Yeah, I forgot that existed. Yeah, you could go get the stickers from there. And so for anybody who hasn't played Pokemon Snap, we'll I guess a minute or two. Yeah, you are on rails. You go through and take pictures of Pokemon. You can interact with them, throw stuff at them, give them treats, give them candies in order to make them do different things. And while they're doing those things, you can get a nice little picture, which you'll be rated upon. It is an awesome game. It's like an on rail shooter, except there's no shooting. You're just badgering wild animals. It's awesome.
You're not. If this is the game that inspired, this is the game that had the character that later in I think Pokemon Season 4 had the photographer. He is actually the main character of this game. It is not Ash or Red. It's that character. I forgot his name. But basically, it's a new Pokemon. It's obviously taking place, if you can tell by the imaging, in the Sword and Shield universe. So I'm excited. For those of you who don't like Pokemon, because of the animal abuse and or dogfighting mentality of the I guess fighting system, Pokemon Snap is going to be right up your alley. The most you do to things is there's a stun grenade, kind of a stun cloud. They're like, which was the only way to get certain Pokemon to do certain things. There was apples, which they showed that you can still be throwing the apples to get them to do certain things. Mm-hmm. And there were very interesting zones because the supposed final boss of the game, or the thing which you had to get a picture of Mewtwo and Mewtwo, which were in like one area, and you had to do some interesting things. And I remember this game being so good because so many people would show off their photography skills.
Yeah, there were great little like for Mew, he was like the final boss, and you were in this like ethereal kind of dreamlike kind of cloud world. Every time you tried to take a picture of Mew, he would block out your picture. And you would throw stuff at him, and things just wouldn't work. Like he just was. It did feel like a boss character that you actually had to go through. It was very inventive. So
it was kind of, in my opinion, you'll kind of get where I'm going with this, Sinnick. It was kind of the new Maniac Mansion, because there was always stories on like, okay, so you have to hit the tree 3 times with the apple, and then throw a stun grenade, and a radish will fall down. And it will give you an A+ picture if you can capture it in midair.
Exactly.
I don't think there was that, but there was something. There were levels to the game.
There was lots of crazy stuff. Like if you do a certain thing and smack the Magikarp in a certain way, you could
Gyarados.
Yeah, you could get it to jump in the river and pop out as Gyarados at the top of the waterfall. And if you snapped it in just the right way, you could get, because the whole thing is to up your score, you get these like A, B, C, D, well, all these ratings on your pictures. And of course, you get the high score. That's kind of the deal. So back in the day, getting a high score was kind of like you were used to doing things that were repetitive back then. And since games were a lot shorter than they are now, And so it's a great throwback. And I mean, I'm very nostalgic for Pokemon Snap, so I'm excited to see it come back.
There is another Pokemon game that got announced, but I need more information because that one literally is only in Japanese. It's called Pokemon Cafe, so we'll probably be talking about that one next episode of Super Game Rose.
Sure.
Because again, I don't know a lot about it, so we're going to go into it later. But guys, we are going to have to call it here, unfortunately. Gavin, we do miss you. Jessica, we're sorry for not using your intro. Again, I don't have to copy that. I need Gavin to send that to me. Other than that, guys, again, keep watching Super Gamer Rose regularly. We'll be doing more stuff, and we have more awesomeness going on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pocky, for starting everything, getting everything sent. Thank you for Courtney for coming in and lending your voice too. It's always good to have you.
Oh yeah, it's always good to be here.
Shoot, yeah.
So yeah, we'll let you guys go. We'll have fun, and remember, next week we have Brad's Skull and Cross or Jill and Harley show. Basically, we have Brad Webb on Tuesday. Wednesdays we have fan service tonight. Thursday, obviously, we have Super Gamer
Brothers.
And then regularly you can catch me on Pocky KLM on Twitch or Mixer. You'll have to go on there to find out my schedule because it changes by my job. So as an example, I have Tuesday off this week, and I was going to go to Brad's thing anyway. So that's going to be changing, but keep an eye on there. Sinnick, where can people find you?
Yep, you can find me on the Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch as Henzar on the PlayStation and Xbox, HENZZAR. It's been my name forever, and I could go on about that forever. The Switch, you'll find me as Sinnick, SINNICK, just like you see on there. I'm also on the Facebook page. You can find us on the Super Gamer Bros Facebook page there. Feel free to share, like, and comment, do all that good stuff to this video once it's up there.
We love them. Give us your likes.
Yes, exactly. Share your Dragon Age stories and send me challenges for Dragon Ball and Mortal Kombat. Send me your Dragon Ball Legends tag. We'll
definitely do that.
Yeah.
So with 30 seconds left, Courtney, where are you?
I am Lil Loudmouse, LILLOUDMOUSE, on Twitch and Mixer, and with any luck, I am going to be starting to stream Dragon Age soon. So I just have to get the motivation and not wake up at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
I'd watch that. Yeah, definitely. We got to get it early when we get some of the early cutscenes because man, the battle scenes in Dragon Age are amazing.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah, guys, that's it. We're going to call it a night. Again, we'll see you later in the week, and we'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned for some of our special programming, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.